Welcome to Marketplace Finds, where we show off some crazy and interesting cars for sale, judge what we think of the price, then order it in our tier list. Behold one of the most insanely weirdly modded cars we have ever come across, this Scion FRS. The seller says it'll turn heads, which is true mostly because everyone's trying to figure out what the hell they're looking at. Every inch of this thing is covered in chrome, rivets, and aerodynamic confusion. It's like a transformer got caught mid-transformation between car and industrial HVAC unit. The front end looks like a Decepticon's dental work, all teeth, ducts, and pain. The hood has a plexiglass viewing window that says turbo, proudly showing off the engine, but at the same time also reveals that it's not actually turboed. Down the sides, there's more layered plating than a medieval knight, with huge rivets poking out, and we can't forget the Lambo doors. Out back, there's a spoiler the size of a dining room table, the kind of thing that would make a Boeing engineer whisper, too much, especially given its 160 horsepower to the wheels. And I know what you're thinking, surely the interior is better. No, it's not. You get two budget-looking racing seats, no carpet or sound deadening, but at least you get a non-hooked up NOS bottle to at least pretend the car's fast. But credit where it's due, they're only after $6,500, which honestly is a good price, even though it hurts me to admit that. Finally, this is what happens when a Miata and a fallout shelter have a baby. It's a home-built ratrod convertible that looks like it's been scavenged from the year after the apocalypse. The body's pure rust and chaos, stitched together with bolts, welds, and hope. I don't even know what half of the body panels have come from, but it does sort of form a resemblance of a car. There is some color other than brown too, because there is some nuclear green plexiglass that covers the supercharged V6 engine that also happens to be neon green. Inside, you get the full wasteland experience, bare metal floors, exposed wiring, random toggle switches, and cup holders made of chains. The most surprising part of the listing is that the seller swears it just did a 3,300 mile road trip and gets 30 to 35 miles per gallon, which is either the boldest lie or this thing is built a lot better than what I'd trust it to be. They think it's worth $16,000. I think they might have added an extra zero on the end of that price. What you're looking at is less a car and more a structural experiment in how fast suspension geometry can cry before it gives up. And funnily enough, after the owner did this to their car, they realized how much it sucks before trying to swap this for a daily. The stance scene really outdid itself here. The wheels are doing the splits, the tires are crying, and the alignment shop hung a "Do Not Resuscitate" sign out front. The front bumper's gone missing like it saw the rest of the car and ran for its life. The hood's got latches because trust is clearly not part of this build, and the bodywork looks like it was patched with spackle and dreams. It was listed up for $1,700 or swaps, and unfortunately it is sold, so expect to find it crashed in a ditch by a 16-year-old in no time. If Barbie went through a JDM phase and got dumped by Ken for buying coilovers instead of curtains, this is the car she'd drive. It's a 1995 Mazda Miata that's been given what can only be described as an anime-powered personality transplant. The front half is bubblegum pink with far too many decals, and of course the world's biggest red flag, a huge Hello Kitty logo. It's wide-bodied, slammed, and sitting on wheels so stretched they probably have anxiety, and the windshield banner reads G-Spot Customs, which, judging by the aesthetic choices here, is still very much undiscovered territory. Moving to the inside, you get pink leopard print seats, the dash is purple glitter, and there's an anime girl on the floor mat giving you a thumbs up as if to say, "You're doing great, sweetie." And if there's anything crazier than the owner, it would be the price, because they are after a huge $18,000. Or, you could just go buy a non-mentally ill one for about half of that. This is a 1984 Honda Elite 125, and it might be one of the most unintentionally perfect builds I've ever seen. It's ridiculous. It's pink, it's covered in glitter, and somehow it absolutely works. I had never heard of it before, but it's apparently based on the Gensuke style from Japan, which is all about turning small scooters into big personalities with wild colors, lights, and attitude. So whoever built this goofy ass thing nailed it. How can you hate on the pink paint with rainbow flake, the fuzzy white seat, and quite possibly the best exhaust I've ever seen on a vehicle? And if you love pop-up headlights, this bad boy's got one. Overall, it's the kind of build that shouldn't make sense, but it does. It's bold, silly, and somehow stylish at the same time. Underneath it all, it's still a reliable little Honda 125, so it'll start up, buzz around town, and make strangers laugh wherever it goes, and for only $2,000 plus the awesome exhaust, we're giving it a golden approval award. I think that's a steal. Thanks for all the recent comments, likes, and subscribers. Each video takes me over 15 hours to make, so I appreciate all the support. What started life as a full-size box on wheels has been sawed, shaved, and smoothed into something that looks part pickup, part hot rod, and part kitty kidnapper. It was once a 1968 Chevy van ready to deliver parcels, but now the doors and roof have been cut and pushed back so it can still deliver parcels, but maybe also a deer carcass without without making as much as a mess. Surprisingly, the matte black paint job looks great, and whoever did the body modifications knew what they were doing, because although the whole thing looks odd, it somehow looks factory. Moving to the inside, it's got two modern seats plopped right over the engine, which in true mid-engine van fashion means your knees are approximately 3 inches from 350 cubic inches of hot, vibrating Chevrolet power. The engine bay looks clean though, with a chrome air cleaner, braided lines, and just enough shine to make you forget you're basically sitting on a barbecue. For $10,000, this van could be yours, meaning you can finally fulfill your dream of owning a vehicle that's equal parts delivery truck and mobile sauna. You ever see a bowling shirt come to life as a car? Well, you're about to, because here we have a 1937 Ford Coupe turned Pro Street art piece, dipped in colours loud enough to get you pulled over just for existing too brightly. Up front, it's a deep metallic purple. Out back, it fades to pink, and right through the middle, a streak of Taco Bell Baja Blast lightning. What's not to love? Between the perfectly Frenched lights and the flush body lines, it's glass smooth and glossy enough to reflect the bags under your eyes. Under that shimmering fiberglass shell sits a Chevy 502 big block, the kind of engine that laughs in premium fuel's face and makes nearby Prius's file noise complaints. It's paired with a turbo 350 and a Ford 9-inch, so despite being a Frankenstein of American brands, it'll hook just enough to make you feel like a hero right before you're sideways in front of a Dairy Queen. Inside, it's purple, white, and custom everywhere you look. The carpets are so clean you'd feel bad stepping on them. It's even got AC and power windows, because nothing says luxury like not sweating through your Hawaiian shirt at a cruise-in. For $35,000, forget buying your wife that Kia with no soul. Buy this instead. If X-Men had a budget cut and Wolverine had to get to work on time, this would be his ride. It's a bright yellow Cobalt SS covered in claw marks and comic book fury, complete with an airbrushed hood mural of a very angry superhero wondering how he ended up on a Chevy from Indiana. He's front and center on the hood and appears to be screaming because he's now trapped on a Cobalt instead of a Camaro. Down the sides, of course, you've got some of his famous claw marks. Just be thankful it's those ones and not from a can of Monster or those terrible stickers people put over their headlights. Inside, it's a two-tone black and yellow explosion that feels like you're sitting inside a bumblebee that's been listening to Papa Roach since 2007. The dash trim and door cards have been redone with a bright plastic sheen, but unfortunately the seat covers didn't get the same treatment and are a few years overdue a refresh. $4,500 takes it home, or you can spend the same money on therapy to understand why you want it. Either way, something's getting fixed. This is a 2002 Silverado that's been transformed into the automotive equivalent of a Vegas blackjack table, custom paint, air ride, and enough speakers to get you evicted from 3 zip codes at once. The paint alone looks like someone merged a hot rod, a slot machine, and a deck of Uno cards at 200 miles per hour. There are dice everywhere in the paint, on the air tanks. It's not just a theme, it's a full-blown gambling addiction on wheels. Open the door and you're inside a Technicolor world. Everything's blue, red, and white, stitched up tighter than a rockabilly barber's jeans. There's a skull sitting in the center console like it's guarding the aux cord, and a ceiling mural that looks like it was airbrushed during a bender. Then there's the sound system, 4 15-inch subs, and enough tweeters to give birds tinnitus. It's priced at $29,000, and I'll be honest, I never know what these custom Silverados go for, but that does seem pretty expensive, even though the whole thing is extremely clean.
Give me a hell yeah!
Only in America can you scroll past a lifted Silverado, a $900 golf cart, and then find a street-legal military assault vehicle for sale on Facebook Marketplace. Meet the Atlas M APC, a Ford F550 that went through puberty, joined the Marines, and never looked back. It's got a V8 turbo diesel, B6 armor plating, and an optional roof-mounted turret, which will sort out any road rage issues very fast. Of course, for such a behemoth, you're looking at a massive $395,000. But honestly, can you really put a price on feeling invincible in the Taco Bell drive-thru? What started life as a school bus for field trips and forgotten lunches has now been reborn as a rolling jungle retreat that smells like essential oils and wood stain. This 2004 Ford E450 has been fully converted into a boho-style home on wheels, basically a Whole Foods on tires. Inside, it's all handcrafted wood, cozy lighting, and more greenery than a dispensary grand opening. The kitchen setup is straight out of a tiny home catalogue, real wood countertops, a propane stove and oven, and a sink with running water, which is more than some apartments in LA can claim. It's got solar panels, a 1024 watt-hour battery system, and even a projector theatre. Power comes from a 7.3 litre diesel engine with just 67,000 miles, meaning it'll run longer than your digital nomad phase. At $45,000, it's not cheap, but it's still less than a year's rent in San Diego.
Get her done.
You're looking at a Polaris Sportsman that's been lifted higher than Snoop Dogg at Coachella, sitting on 8 to 10 inches of lift, 8-inch portals, and tires the size of bathtubs. Each wheel looks like it could legally vote. The seller says it's almost complete, which is Facebook Marketplace code for bring a welder, a prayer, and a spare spine. It needs the driveshaft and exhaust extended, probably because this thing was built to clear trenches, not trails. Underneath, you've got a rebuilt 850 motor with a 1000 head and a big gun exhaust, which is probably at head height, so you know it's loud. It's blacked out, jacked up, and looks like it was designed by the US Army Corps of Engineers after after a Monster Jam marathon. At $11,500, your nickname will be Shrek because you'll be the king of the swamp. This started life as a humble Volkswagen Jetta until someone decided it should wave the flag and haul malt. Now it's a custom pickup conversion called the Patriot Edition, complete with Mustang GT side scoops, a roof spoiler, and enough vinyl stars to qualify as a parade float. The front proudly shouts "Hallelujah," the sides scream "Freedom," and the tailgate says "Thank you veterans," just in case anyone didn't already know. There's even a God Bless America hitch cover for that finishing touch of unfiltered liberty. Underneath all the symbolism, it's still a front-wheel drive VW with heated seats and an automatic transmission, meaning it'll haul more conversations than cargo. The seller says the conversion would normally cost over $60,000, which makes sense because freedom isn't free, but the seller proudly states they'll let it go for $28,500, and as you'd expect, it still hasn't sold in the last 2 months. The ultimate machine for anyone who's ever watched Paul Blart Mall Cop and thought, yeah, that could be me, because apparently this 2015 version 1 is quite literally a cop edition, the kind of electric chariot that rolls into battle at 12 miles per hour, armed with the siren, strobe lights, and the full power of authority in a food court. Forget Teslas, this is the future of law enforcement in enclosed shopping environments. It's got the stance of a Star Wars droid and the intimidation factor of a Roomba with the badge. From the front, it looks like someone grafted armor plating onto a mobility scooter. You glide silently across parking lots, scanning for expired meter tags, unattended coolers, and suspicious teenagers loitering near the Cinnabon. One twist of the throttle and you're doing muck walking speed, powered by 2 reconditioned batteries and pure mall cop adrenaline. It's listed up for $7,000, which seems insane, but I just know there's plenty of people who failed their police training who will be ready to pounce on it. I know this one's not a car, but I thought it's still goofy enough to put in the video. Meet the Mokai Jet Kayak, which is basically a jet ski, just 10 times slower and 10 times less stable. With its massive 6 horsepower engine, it can blast you across the water at a blistering 12 miles per hour, which is basically Mach 3 in kayak terms. At least it's got an 8-hour runtime. The downside to that is you'll be sat on a seat that looks like it was designed by a chiropractor who hates you. It comes with a trailer, paddle, and a strong chance you'll outrun every duck on the lake. At $3,800, it's perfect for anyone who's ever wanted to enjoy the sound of a leaf blower while on the lake. Here's how the final tier list ended up. Let us know what we got right, what we got wrong, if there's anything you change around. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.